Hello, and welcome to Our Sailor Stories, the podcast from the USS Hornet Sea, Air, and Space Museum.
Okay, my name is Bill Miklos, and I'm a docent here on the USS Hornet, and I've been a docent for 13 years now. The director of education on the ship, she put out a note saying, does anybody want to teach the Apollo program that we have as part of Step into History? So I said, sure, I'll do that for you. So I got involved with the Step into History program. And what Step into History is, a busload of kids comes on the pier. If there's 100 kids, we'll break them up into 5 groups, get them started up in the hangar deck, and then each group will go off to a different part of the ship, and they'll get a 25-minute lecture on something to do with history. So my step into history was the Apollo program and the space race. I did 149 presentations of the Apollo material over that time period of those 39 events that we had on board the ship. And I kept track. We talked to a total of 1,716 students and their chaperones. So those are all the kids that came through here. And believe me, it's exhausting. You do a talk for 25 minutes, the kids are leaving the room. I've got 3 minutes to get everything put back together again with my toys and spaceships and everything else. And by the time I get done with that, the kids are coming in.
What is your background in space? You mentioned you have a background in space. Could you go deeper into that?
Yeah, my degrees are in Bachelor of Science and Master's degree in Aerospace Mechanical Engineering. And then I was in the Air Force for 13 years. My last assignment was in a satellite program office in Los Angeles. And we were building a next generation strategic communication satellite. And then I decided to leave the service and because all my commitments were satisfied. I owed them time, I owed them time, I owed them time. Finally, I was a free man. So I decided to become a civilian and got a job at Lockheed Martin here in Sunnyvale, and that's the Lockheed Missiles and Space. So I get into more spacey programs and was working on those for 26 years on different satellites and also on boosters, the satellite interface with the booster. And the culmination of my career with Lockheed was to be on console at the Cape for the launch of the first advanced DHF communication satellite. And being there at the Cape, going into the areas where they're building the booster and seeing everything there, and watching the whole process of launching a booster with a very expensive satellite on top was really the culmination of my career. So I always had an interest in space, and working on satellites really gets you into space technology. So coming here, the other thing I was really interested in as a kid is the U.S. Navy. I used to build model boats and ships and all these kind of things. And
You were the boat in the bottle kid?
yeah, the boat in the bottle kid. No, Victory at Sea. Watched Victory at Sea, and when I got out, coming here got me going. This is kind of cool. So that's what my two loves in life are. I mean, professionally, is like the Navy and the space stuff. So that's how I got involved with this, which was a perfect marriage of science, space, and Navy. Couldn't be better. Last year, for the first time, I actually went to a first grade class in Los Altos, and a neighbor has a daughter that goes to this class, and I told her what I do, and she says, "Do you want to come and talk to the kids?" So I said, "Sure." So I packed up all my toys, all the space rockets and spaceships, and took them. I had a presentation, and they was so cool. I got there, I had everything on the table, and the kids all had their little squares on the floor, and each kid sat in his little square, and took them through, how we got to the moon. And I said, even today, there's a space station up there now that's orbiting the Earth. And you can go online and you can find out where it is. It's called the ISS Spotter. And you can go and get there and you can find out where the space station is with the 7 people on board. And they all got bug-eyed. And the teacher was so sharp. She said, I'm going to call it up right now. So she goes over to her computer and I told her how to find it. She found it and she put it up on the screen with the projector. And there it is. There's this picture of, I think it was South America with this line going down, which is the orbital path. And this X was blinking as it was going down the orbital path. And the kids got so excited about this. I said, yeah, that's where the space station is now. I got home and I said, I forgot to tell them one very important thing. So I went back and I called the teacher. I said, look, can I come back for 5 minutes and tell your kids one more really important thing that I forgot to tell them? She said, by all means, come anytime. And we agreed on a date. And she said, Bill, do you know that every day when the kids come into the room, the first thing they ask, can you show us where the space station is today? So every day she goes there, she brings up the ISS spotter, and there it is, and she uses it to teach them about geography, where the thing is, what the ground track is. But every day they want to see where this space station is before they start their daily routine. But anyway, I said, I got to come by and give them one more thing. So I get there and I have my Mercury capsule and my Apollo capsule. And I said, we talked a lot about spaceships last time I was here. And these things go through space and they protect the astronauts inside. We have the little one here with his one person. And there's another one here that's got 3 people in it that's bigger. But they're all spaceships. And they're made to keep the people inside safe. But there's another spaceship that you should be aware of, that you're very close to. I had given the kids each one of these, and I put it face down. I said, don't turn it over. So I said, you can turn it over now. And then they picked it up and they looked at it. And, a couple of kids said, it's Spaceship Earth. First graders. So this is Spaceship Earth. This is the last message I wanted to give the kids because they should know that they are living on a spaceship. And just like the astronauts take care of their spaceship, we've got to take care of our spaceship. It occurred to me I didn't pass on to them the most important thing that I could have passed on, that they are living on a spaceship.
And why was it important for you to go back and instill that in them?
Because I wanted them to take away something that is not just a fact, it's something they could live. That they can go out and plant a garden, and they can go out and take care of some fish in a pond, but they're taking care of the life that's on Spaceship Earth, and they can recycle. They can go and do stuff like that, but taking care of our spaceship. Nobody's going to come and take away our trash. Nobody's going to come and clear the oceans. It's our spaceship. And that's what I wanted to convey to them, so they can take that outside the classroom and live a message as opposed to just knowing a bunch of facts.